Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Alright guys, I'm really not going to beat around the bush too much today. There's already dozens and dozens, maybe hundreds, thousands of reviews on this sneaker already. What I really want to do on this video is I kind of want to give a brief little praise, and I guess you could say, yeah, just give their flowers to Adidas and the Yeezy brand for, you know, mass releasing another shoe. I really appreciate when Kanye said this. He said that anyone who wants a pair of Yeezys can get one. He understands that, and I think he understands as much as well as anyone else, especially with the hype around his Nike Air Yeezys. I think he knows that people want this shoe and they want to be able to have it, and not just in limited demand. So I really appreciate that he is maybe not feeding into the hype as much. I know his shoes are still going to resell, they're still going to be expensive. I mean, they're not cheap, I'll tell you that, they're not cheap. But I like the fact that they're easily accessible. For instance, there's plenty of raffles that were available. There was plenty of stores like Champs, Foot Locker, Yeezy Supply. Actually, Yeezy Supply thinks I'm a robot for some reason every time I try to get in, no matter what I do. But anyways, so I actually got lucky. I woke up at 5 a.m. Mountain Time on Saturday to purchase these directly off the Champ Sports website. It was actually at 5 a.m. That's when the queue started, so I lined up virtually through the queue. And you know, by 5:40, I had checked out. My order was processed, completed, and I was back in bed. So it was actually pretty easy. It was actually pretty easy to get these. Unlike other shoes that bots, you know, will snatch them up instantly, or that there's a limited supply, and then if you really want them, you have to pay double, triple what you wanted. I really appreciate that these were super easy to get, and because there was so much dropped into the market, the value of these actually hasn't exceeded that much. I've been looking at them, I mean, through release day, the highest that resale ever got was about 300. Usually I'm seeing most sites between 280, 300. So I don't know what's gonna happen with this shoe, if it's just gonna stay low. And maybe that's just because it wasn't a hit. I personally really liked it. Most people probably didn't like it, but you know, let's get into that in a bit. But I really appreciate how the market was perhaps saturated with this, that it prevented resellers from, you know, copying that much so that they can resell for more. It made it easy to access, and you know, I'm happy. I hope everyone else is happy. And even if you weren't lucky and you didn't want to wake up early to get them, even if you do pay resale, it's not going to be like an arm and a leg like other Yeezy models, for instance, like the Wave Runners. Even those keep re-releasing even after their initial launch. Those are still kind of high, but you know, I appreciate that these started out middle and stayed middle. So I appreciate you, Adidas and Yeezy, and I hope it stays this way, because Yeezys are pretty comfortable. Boosts are one of the best technologies we have out there for comfortness. And so, you know, I appreciate Yeezy when he said that anyone who wants a Yeezy sneaker can get a Yeezy sneaker. And you know, and I think he meant that, and I appreciate that. That's actually why I started my video with the infamous "We Got 'Em" video, just because, you know, I've been taking L's on so many shoes, and unfortunately I've had to pay resale a couple times on some pairs that I really want, that unfortunately there just wasn't enough supply and the demand was really high. Shout out to college for finally letting me use some terms that I learned in school. Anyways, so here they are. You know, it was super easy to get them, at least in my opinion. Was it worth waking up at 5 a.m. on Saturday? I think so, because then I went back to bed and I like stayed asleep till like noon. So totally worth it on my end. And again, maybe the reason why they were pretty easy to get, and maybe why the demand even post-launch is a little bit lower, is because it's a whole different design. The vibes are completely different on this 350 than other 350s. that are in the market. This is actually my second pair of 350s that I've got. The first ones were the Yeezy Clays that I had. In fact, I actually never wore them. The only reason I got those shoes was because someone traded me for them for another pair. Then I ended up just flipping them and getting more money out of it. Anyways, I actually never wore them, but here they are in the picture that I'm gonna post somewhere. But so here's another one. Mostly I stick with 700s because I think that they're, better all around. These are cool, so let's get into them. Right off the bat, there's definitely they're eye-catching for sure. In your typical 350 silhouette, you got the pull tag on the back. You got that I don't know what you want to describe it, that mesh line that's familiar across the exterior of all the Yeezy 350s, which is usually a different shade or different tone than the rest of the shoe. In this case, you can see how the pattern that's visible everywhere just kind of stops on the mesh, which is cool. It's see-through, so depending on the socks you are wearing, it could stand out. Something that I hope the camera angle can catch is the shoelaces. These are going to be a problem, and in fact, I don't know how to describe them, but they're kind of meshy. The laces are kind of meshy, so I'm curious to see how easy those are going to come untied. Now, my mama always taught me to double knot my shoes, so I never had an issue. But who ties up Yeezys? Most of these, I think the reason we like these is because they're easily slip-ons. We just put them on, and that's it. But anyways, let's get more into it. So we got the name of the shoe is the Yeezy, and spelled MXO. Now I think it's supposed to stand for mix, which would make sense. Now the O, that's where I'm a little confused, because to me, oat is like the oats you eat, which can either be pale or brown, depending on how much brown sugar you put in them. So I'm not sure where they're getting the oat out of it. If anything, to me this gives me the vibes of when you go to Cold Stone and you ask for a cake batter shake with sprinkles on it. That's what it looks like. In fact, it looks to me like it has the midsole of the Yeezy Butters, or the soft creams, I think that's what they're called. I'm not too sure. And then then on the top, where this fly knit material, kind of feels it's actually kind of smooth. There is some pattern to it. It's actually not smooth at all. Where there's color, there's pattern. But it's kind of cool. I don't know how to describe them. I mean, it makes sense. The MXO, the mix. They definitely mixed them. Something that I did think was kind of cool is Adidas used the same pattern for all shoes across all sizes. It's not like the patterns are unique. They're not snowflakes in any way, shape, or form. These are all the same pattern, which I actually appreciate, because that way I feel like it makes it easier to distinguish if the shoe would be original or not, as opposed to the shoes just had a Van Gogh pattern on all of them. I feel like it would be easier to replicate. It would be easy to make knockoffs. So I'm glad that Adidas stuck with the same mass-produced model for all these shoes. On the inside, you have, I haven't worn these yet, so they come with the paper. Then you got the Boost midsole. Insole. Let's go ahead and take them out. That's what they should look like. Here's a better pic. And then on the bottom, you got your traditional soles with the Boost showing. Some people like it, some people don't care. I mean, how often do you really see the soles of someone else's shoe? Some people just, I guess the reason they don't like it is because they want to keep the Boost clean. So I mean, it could be an issue, but not for me, Like I said, I wasn't gonna bore you guys too much with details. There's already hundreds and thousands of videos on them. So I just wanted to give you, like I said, a quick oral presentation of how much I appreciate Kanye. It's like what he said in his song, "On God, the IRS wants our 50 plus our tithe off the 350s that he supplied. Man, that's over half of the pie. man, but I appreciate it. Thank you, Kanye. Thank you. Very cool. All right, so here they are. Now, Adidas did recommend, I know Adidas sizing is crazy because, and even from the Yeezys, from one Yeezy to another Yeezy, the sizes could be completely off. But Adidas did recommend to actually go true to size on this, so I took their word for it. Now, I am an 11 when it comes to Yeezys. However, I probably could have done an 11 and a half. The good thing is these shoes, because they're mesh everywhere and they're like easy bendable materials, I know after I wear them a couple, they'll be able to break in easily and they'll, you know, be fine. But right now I do feel some pressure on the wider parts of my foot. So my advice is continue to disregard the recommendation that Adidas gets or gives and continue to go a half size up. Just, you know, that way it's actually worth it, especially if you're gonna pay retail for it. Sorry, if you're gonna pay resale for it, you might as well splash the cash and be comfortable. However, because I got these for retail, I'll just bite the bullet and wait to break them in. But man, these are super comfy. Like I said, I haven't worn 350s before, but I think these are way comfier than my 700s. That's definitely for sure. Anyways, so that's my quick review on these. I think they look pretty good. I think they look pretty good. Just to see what it looks like. Side by side. Mm.